everyone, welcome back to a new video. I'm your girl Adriana Montanez. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. I know I said this in another video. If you don't know this already, if you didn't watch it, I put it in my why you shouldn't let people that ghost you come back in. Pretty much I was testing a color. I'm not sure what color I want to paint back here, so I put a piece of fabric. And I know this kind of looks kind of chimpy, but I want to make a TikTok out of it. But you know, I'm a really creative person, so we're just gonna go with it today, so don't judge me. And just a random update, I did make all my social media private for a bit while I'm taking the social media break. But if you leave me a request, I will approve everything once I get back. Definitely follow me on Instagram, even though I'm not going to be active. But you could definitely follow. It's an open profile, and my TikTok will be private. But that's not what we're talking today. So this is going to be a little story time. You guys can get to know me a little bit more. If you've not seen a lot of my content and you kind of caught on to the things I like to put out there, is really big with protecting your peace at all cost. I'm really savage when it comes to this, and I know some people, because like they usually call me like I'm the queen of blocking. And if you want to know my astrology sign, I'm an Aquarius. I don't know a lot about astrology, but I align with some of the things an Aquarius is. I will say that. Definitely quirky. I'm very passionate with things that I believe. I'm very unapologetic, but also too, it did take me a long time to get to pretty much to blossom and to be the woman that I am today. You know, I really had a lot of obstacles and personal demons I really had to battle. But I want to share with you a little bit of my personal story, pretty much why I don't talk to any of the girls that were in my wedding, and I really just don't see them as friends. And I felt like I was sold on this false image. So if you want to hear my little story time of me, why I cut off all the girls that were in my wedding and why I don't talk to them anymore, then definitely keep watching. I definitely want to bring some encouragement to other women that, you know, if you're thinking of getting married, or you feel like your relationship's going to that next level, if I can go back and do things differently, I definitely would do everything completely different, even to the point of what family I invited. I have a few girlfriends I thought we were going to be friends forever. I'll be honest, these girls were around probably at some of my darkest moments. One of the girls, I actually was dating her husband's younger brother. You know, like we just had so many great moments, you know. And I really didn't know true friendships until I started really evolving with myself, and I feel like getting more confident with myself just the last 6 years. My 20s, I felt very punked. I wasn't confident. I was kind of just rolling with the crowd. I wasn't a leader. I wasn't anything of what I am today. Old habits die hard, and I felt like I was just entertaining a lot of nonsense too at the time, because I was so conditioned, like it's okay, this is the way it is. And honestly, like, as much as, don't get it twisted, like no relationship's perfect, my marriage is not perfect, but my husband really brought out the best in me. He's probably one of the most encouraging, the realest people on my team. So my camera just died. I remember what the last thing I said was. I apologize. I had to switch out the battery, and I'm like, we are finishing this video today. But going back to what I was saying is, my husband's been the realest one on my team. He always encouraged me, and if it wasn't for him, I felt like maybe these girls probably still would have been around to this day, because I was so conditioned with toxic. And let me give you an example. Girls that say they're your friend, but they'll never support what you're doing on social media and your personal goals, those are not your friends. Girls that try to call you names in front of other girls to make them feel better are not real friends. And I had literally 2 girls in particular. What's crazy is one of them ended up divorced. Actually, they both ended up divorced. And here's my thing, they would always call me a hoe. Oh, Adri's a hoe, you know, Adri's a party girl, Adri's a puta, Adri's this. I'm telling you right now, in my 20s, yeah, I lived it up. I had fun, I dated. I would date like I was on The Bachelorette. And what I mean by that is I never put my eggs all in one basket. I did for a couple, okay, but those are different stories, you know, but young and dumb, but you have to go through those, right? But I was shamed by a couple girls in particular. And I used to just be like, whatever, like that's just what they call me, until as I got older, even to the point like when I even had a baby, I would still hear those names, and really derogatory, and they would actually say them in front of other people. Like I'd get invited to, like they were having a barbecue with family and friends, like, oh, Adri, come up, whatever. I'd pull up and it's just like, oh, what's up, ho? Or like, this is the hood out of the group, and I'm over here like, I'm really not though. Like I'm married, I have a baby, my man's right here. But like, it was just, they would always throw insults in front of other people, and those are not friends. Those are not friends. But I was so conditioned, like, well, I've known them for so long, and it's always like, well, I've known them since such and such. It's like, we're cool. No, that doesn't matter. If people really care for you, and people really love you, and people really root for you, they're not going to put you down in front of other people and be disrespectful. And they did that countless times. I remember this one time before I got married, one of the girls, she hated the fact that I was gonna get married because I was like one of her like ride or die girls. And I was like, girl, we can still do stuff. She's like, but it ain't the same. And I'm like, yeah, but you know, but what's crazy is she actually wanted to get married. She wanted to have another baby. She wanted to like move forward. And what's crazy is when I got engaged, she didn't congratulate me. And I remember, I'll put this on the internet because I really don't care. I eloped before I told anybody I got married. I got married within 3 months. That could be a different story if you guys want to hear about it. But I got married in 3 months after knowing my husband. And I've been with him. I just hit my 8-year anniversary with him. She went in my purse and literally took out my ID card. And she straight called me out in front of the other girls. Just like, why does it say Montanez? And I was just like, are you serious? Like, I was so shocked because I've never went in anybody else's stuff. Mind you, it was nothing bad. Like, I'm gonna tell them within the next like month. But like the fact that she did that in front of everybody, and I hosted a dinner. Like, they were at my house having dinner, you know? And I was just like, I was so flabbergasted. Like, what is really going on? It was like countless little events that I was just felt like I was getting picked on. And I'm not going to say that all the girls are terrible. I'm not going to say that, but I just felt like some of them were just very toxic, and I just was so conditioned until I started to go to therapy. And I went to therapy on my own because I felt like, I was like, what could I always do to be better? I'm very pro therapy, anything that's going to make you a better person. And these habits were brought up. And then I remember too, as I started to pursue more of my faith in the church, you know, I do practice Catholicism. That sits strong with my heart and soul. And I've always been familiarized with it as a child, but I was never like, you know, raised with it. And that's my personal choice, you know, that's what sits well with me. And I remember even just going to church and hearing like, you know, hearing scripture and hearing certain things. And I'm like, these are just not my friends. But I just felt like it was just never enough until I remember this one in particular. I remember my husband booked me a party bus. He had food. We had the whole shebang. Do you know what these girls were doing the whole time? They were on their phone. They were not really about it. They were super cold and sour. And he was just like, WTF. Like, I'm not trying to curse on my channel like that, but I'm just like, I don't understand. Like, it was just, I just realized just in time. And then to top it off, once I got engaged. My engagement party was, look, I'm not gonna sit here and be like I'm this high maintenance, ungrateful person. I'm gonna be real, but it was trash. If I'm paying for everything in the wedding, especially when it comes to your dresses, and you guys, we didn't even go to a restaurant. I got sandwiches from like a Costco and some fruit at a house. I'm sorry, I don't care what anybody says, but like I go harder for some of my girls that are having babies. I will go harder on the gift and show up than that. You know what I mean? Like, I was just like, from everything. And even my husband was just like, I don't think these girls are your friends. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you who's there for you and who's not, but just, he saw that and he was just like, these are not friends. What's crazy is toxic behavior, just even habits, just growing up with certain things I saw with my family dynamic, you know, my parents, my sister, just other experiences I experienced just working at the nightclub. I was so conditioned like, this is okay, but it's not. It's not. And also too, there was a couple that had kids young, and I was at a place where, you know, they wanted, their kids are getting older, they're going to school, they're whatever, high school, junior high, and it's like, I'm over here like, I did the partying, I did the clubbing, I did all that already. So it's like, I really don't want to be out there. And plus I don't drink alcohol. So it's like, and at the time I actually still was, I'd have like a glass of wine here and there, but like I'm not a big drinker. But again, like I'm gonna make another video why I don't drink, but it was just always antagonizing. This was probably the icing on the cake. I remember after I had my baby and I was like, I want to get back into shape. So if you don't know this, before I even got pregnant, I was actually cutting and prepping myself to take my body to another level in leaning out. And I was like telling my coach, I was like, my belly's not going down. And he's like, that's impossible. You know, you're going off of the food, the workouts, whatever. I had a baby inside me. Fast forward, I had a baby, you know, a year and a half later, whatever, settled in. We'll say after a year, my child was like, once my baby turned 1, I was like, I'm ready to get back into shape and get into my goals. And these girls were just like, you're never going to be the same. You're going to look like trash. Or they'd bring up like sex is not going to be the same with your man anymore. He's not gonna find you as attractive. You're gonna have a lot of stretch marks and cellulite. You know, they brought me down in every type of way. And you know, at the time I was vulnerable and I just took it. I took it because I was just like, man, maybe they're right, you know? And mind you, like some of my extended family, like that I got married into, you know, my husband's, they're not really fond of me either. They've made that very clear. And I feel like I got the most hate when I was the most vulnerable. And I used that fuel. I used that hate as fuel. Even more to now what I'm dealing with today. And I remember I started to trim down. I started to lose weight a little bit, you know what I mean? It takes time. I started showing workouts with my baby, you know? And my old Instagram, before it was completely disabled, I would post my workouts, like, you know, park workouts. And we made so many videos, my son and I, you know, and I hold those close to my heart. And you know, and I was showing food alternatives, whatever, and they would still bash me until one day there was a specific picture I remember I posted, and you could see like the baby ad lines, and you see my legs popping in more, you see my glutes popping in more, because I lost all my booty, y'all. And literally half of them all deleted me. They all deleted me. And I was like, that's just what it was. And it made me go harder just in like my personal training, in my personal fitness, and my own health, you know what I mean? Like, you know, if I went to a barbecue that they invited me to, they'd be like, oh, there's really not much here you could eat. There's guacamole, and then there's fish. Oh, but it's fried, you can't eat that. Like, it was always like, it felt like Mean Girls. And I'm like, mind you, I have a girlfriend, I love her to death, not gonna say who she is, but she's a raw vegan. And I eat vegan food with her. I actually love vegan food, you know. But if I host something, like I'm thinking of this year for the holidays, I'm gonna have like a holiday get together. My husband and I were talking about it, and I was like, but I'm gonna have vegan options for her, because I feel like that's what you do as a host. You know, when I got married, there was a few people that were vegetarians. I had vegetarian dishes, you know what I mean? I had alternatives, but the way that they were coming at me, the way I was like, these girls are not my friends. So my husband's like, they actually did you a favor by deleting you. Literally, them, their boyfriends, their husbands, they all like unfollowed me, whatever. Like, it was fine. But I was just like, it's kind of like that's what it was, and that's what it took. And it's crazy, these girls were in my wedding. These girls were in my wedding. I thought, you know, and the way I rode for them, I thought they would ride for me. And you know what it is? And I don't care if any of them see this video to this day, or right now, or they're watching it, but it's jealousy. It's jealousy, because at the end of the day, I genuinely could be happy and root for other people. Like, I'm genuinely happy when I see somebody doing something great, you know, or I see a relationship thriving, or like one of the moms at the gym, I was just like, girl, you look good. She's just like, yeah, but I'm trying to get more. I was like, it's okay, you're gonna get there. I go, but I'm gonna support you, because that's what it is. It's a different family unit, you know what I mean? And it's just hard to come across that just in general, just with people, because there's so much hate and envy when it comes to family. It could be your coworkers, it could be anybody, you know what I mean? And that's just not been my type of person. That's just not my type of being. That's not my light. That's not what I want to project into this world. But I just knew at the end of the day, I was like, I have so much more to offer. So maybe, and then like I really prayed about it too. I remember I went to church that Sunday, and I felt like God was telling me, and I told God too, I was like, whoever's meant to be in my life, let it be done according to your will, and I will not question you in any way. Literally, when I prayed that prayer and I said it out loud and I put it in Jesus' name, a week later, all these people unfollowed me. All these people deleted me. And I was like, wow. Like, I was at a loss for words. That's why I talk so much when it comes to toxic and protecting your peace, and don't be afraid to stand up for yourself, because nobody's gonna back you up more than anybody else. You are gonna back yourself up more than anybody else. You know, you gotta be your biggest fan. Like, I believe in myself so high. I don't care if I only have, like, for me being deleted so many times on Instagram and just social media itself, I always knew I have a light in me, and I got my own community of people, because I don't see it as followers. I see it as a community. I see it as a family. I learn from them just like they learn from me. You know, like I said, it's give and take. You know what I'm saying? You just never know what doors are gonna open. You never know what opportunities are gonna present you. You know, and it's all with you just putting an effort into yourself, but actually standing up for yourself. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, just to get a little bit of TLC into me, why I don't talk to any of the women that were in my wedding. I wish them all well. I hope they're doing well. I hope there's no hate you know, but at the end of the day, I just can't have these, I couldn't have these women in my life anymore. I don't, and the thing is, I didn't do anything malicious to any of them. I really didn't. I really, really didn't. If anything, one of them really helped me out when I was at my lowest. I don't want to say what her name is, you know, connected me where she connected me so I could live somewhere else at the time when I moved out. But other than that, like, I really do wish them well, but I'm actually really happy in this new direction of life that I'm going in. And if it can encourage somebody else to say goodbye to relationships, or just maybe it's a good way to close out 2022 with any type of nonsense that's not sitting well with your heart and spirit, then why carry it into 2023? I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.